Alright guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be doing makeup on my beautiful roommate. This is Leanna Crawford. I love her to death. So I'm going to do makeup on her. We're just going to get started. She has a bare face right now. I am prepping her skin with the Tatcha Water Gel Moisturizer. This is just a good base. Gets everything nice and moisturized. And then I'm just going to do her brows first. I always start with eyes when I'm doing clients. So I'm doing her brows first. I'm just pushing them upwards. I'm using the IT Cosmetics Brow Pencil. I'm pretty sure this is in the shade Universal Brown, but I'll have everything linked down below if I forget to mention something when I am talking to you guys today. But yes, so I'm just filling in her eyebrows super quickly. She has some really great brows already, so I'm just filling them in just lightly, and then I am going to set them with the Benefit Brow Gel. This one and the Anastasia Beverly Hills one are my favorite clear brow gels to use ever. They're so great. And then I'm just going to take a concealer and start to carve out her brows. So I do this just to kind of clean up any mistakes and anything like that. So just carving out her eyebrows underneath and above. And this also gives me a base for my eyeshadow that I'm going to use on top of this. So I take it all down her eyelid. And then as you see in a little bit, I'm going to set this lid with some translucent powder. I'm just blending it all together right now, getting away any creases, and then I'm going to set this with some Laura Mercier translucent powder, as you see me doing right here. Now that the eyelids are all prepped and ready to go for eyeshadow, I am using the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette this whole entire eye look pretty much. So these are the eyeshadows that I'll be using out of that palette. I'm just taking a fluffy brush, and the two transition shades in the palette, I blended those together, and we're just going to work those into the crease. As you can see, I like to do eyes first so I can be a little bit messy with this. So we're just kind of slapping this color on. I then went in with a little bit more dense brush, but still a fluffy blending brush, using a little bit of a deeper shade, and put that below the first color that we just used. And then going in with a little bit more of a dense brush and a little bit of a darker shade. I'm focusing more on the outer V of the eye. This is kind of like a muted purple, deep purple color. So I put that in the outer corner and then just blended everything together with the blending brush again with no extra product on it. Then going in with a pencil brush, I am just going in with a darker shade one more time and just deepening up that outer corner of the eye, right in that outer V area. Once I put that down, I just kind of highlighted the brow bone a little bit with the two lightest shades in the palette on both sides, just giving a little bit of a pop. And then I blended the two lightest shades in the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette again, used some Fix Plus, and am popping that all over the lid of her eye. So this just gives a nice bright open look to the eye. And then with a blending brush, I'm just going to blend that out, kind of blending everything together. I decided I wanted to add some shimmer and some glitter to this look, so I'm taking the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liners. This is in the shade Urban Cowboy, and kind of just popping that all over the lid and just blending that out with my finger. Next, we're going to go in with some liner. I'm using a dark brown liner, liquid liner today, and we're just going to pop that right on her lash line. I did a tiny, tiny little wing just to kind of lift her eyes a little bit, but just giving her a sharp line across the top lash line, making it nice and dark. And then we're going to pop on some mascara. I'm just using a spoolie and popping some on, and then applying some lashes. I used the Ardell Wispy lashes on her today. She already has some really long, nice lashes, so these were perfect for her. And then I just went over top of that with another felt tip black liner just to make sure that lash line was blended in to her eyelid and everything like nice and smooth. And then just a little trick, I just take a makeup wipe and wipe all the excess product underneath her eye area, so that way it looks nice and clean for foundation. So I take a break for the eyes a little bit, and then I go in with the face and finish that off, and then we'll finish the eyes later. So I'm using the L'Oreal True Match foundation actually. I'm pretty sure this is in the shade W1, and I am just pressing that all over her skin. I love using this foundation for mixing, but also it just gives a really pretty, nice skin-like look to people's skin. So I really like using this and having these colors in my kit. Plus there's such a wide range, so it's really nice. So underneath the eyes, I'm using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I'm pretty sure this is in the shade Ginger. It has a pinky undertone, so it's going to help cancel out any of the blue underneath her eyes. And then on top of that, I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Fair and putting that all down the center of her face. And then just blending that in with a beauty blender as well. Actually, this is the Real Technique sponge. This is my favorite one to use. So just blending all of that in, making sure everything's nice and smooth underneath the eyes. And then we're going to set everything where we just put that concealer. And I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent powder down her face and underneath her eye area to set. Once that is on and everything is set, I leave it there for just a couple minutes and I'm going to powder the rest of the face. I'm pretty sure this is just a CoverGirl translucent powder that I picked up and I really love it. So I'm just pressing that all over the face, just kind of setting everything very lightly. And then I'm gonna wipe away the excess powder underneath her eye area and just anywhere that, you know, we have leftover powder underneath the eyes or anywhere. So we're just wiping that off, making everything look nice and smooth. And then after all that powder, I like to set the skin. So this is the Morphe Prep and Set. I'm just spraying it all over her face just to kind of melt everything back together and just letting that dry. And then we will move on to some bronzer finally to warm up the face. So I'm actually using the Physicians Formula bronzer in the shade Light. So I'm just taking this all around the outer perimeters of her face, blending that out. And then anywhere where I got a little bit too messy, I always like to take some translucent powder again and just press it underneath the bronzer just to kind of give it a little bit of a sharper, cleaner line and a lifted effect. Then I'm going in with blush. I'm using the Sigma Core de Rosa blush, and I love this one. This is one of my many favorites. I use it a lot on myself, but I am putting that on her cheeks and a little bit on the forehead, and then wiping away the bottom powder underneath the bronzer. And then we're going to highlight the skin. So I'm using the Jaclyn Hill Becca Champagne Pop Highlighter. We are popping that on the top of the cheekbones, the brow bone, and a little bit above the brow as well. You can see it a little bit better here, but it is just beautiful on her skin, gives a really nice, pretty, highlighted, dewy look. And now we're going to finish off the eyes. So I'm just taking a flat definer brush. I'm using a light purpley brown shade, and we're just kind of lining underneath her lash line with this. I only go about halfway in just to kind of give her more of a lifted cat eye effect. And then with two of the transition colors that I blended together, I'm just using those to blend out that bottom lash line. And then we're just going to pop some mascara on her lower lashes. And the eyes are pretty much done. So now we're going to move on to lips. I'm using the Urban Decay lip liner in the shade Rush. Oh my gosh, guys, she literally started yawning while I was doing her lip liner. And I've never had that happen before. We were dying laughing. Okay, round two. We're going to finish off her liner, and then I'm using a NYX liquid lipsticks. I actually love their liquid lipsticks. And just pressing that on top of the lips for her lipstick. Such a pretty color on her. Again, I'll link it down below. And then I'm putting a gloss on top just to kind of complete the look. Beautiful. And then spraying her face with the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray just to lock it all in. And then after looking at it, I decided I wanted to add a little bit more of a pop of color in the inner corner, or pop of glitter in the inner corner. So I went in with another Urban Decay product. Again, I'll link it down below because I'm not sure exactly what it is, but that was just what it needed. And here's the before and after.